Welcome students, welcome back again to the online class. Here we are going to continue the lesson resource and development. Now already we introduced about what is resource, types of resources, development of resources, resource planning in India, conservation of resources. Now the topic which we are going to discuss about practically about what type of resources we have to discuss. So one is the introduction about the land resources. Already you know this is very important resource. There is no need of introduction of land. See, land is a part of our life. So because we are staying on this land, we are utilizing the land for different purposes. Our economic activities, we are settling on this land, natural vegetation is growing, it is a home for the wildlife, like that economic activities are taking place. So that means this is land is an asset of finite magnitude, which is an important part of our life. So that's why what we should do, we should conserve, we have to plan and utilize this land. If you don't plan and utilize, you know, what will happen? We lose the land also. Even though land is a renewable resource, it's available forever. But since we are not using in a planned way, so we lose the land. So that's why we have to plan and use. First we will see what type of land is there in India. See, if you take our country India, in India the relief features are mostly consisting of the plains, mountains, plateaus and islands. So let's discuss about this through this pie graph. So the 43% of the land area is covered by the plains in India, and this is a vast area we can see when we compare with the other. And in these plains we can use mostly for agriculture and industrial activities. And then afterwards we are going to discuss about the mountains. See, mountains are also very important feature of our land, because this land, this mountain consists of 30%. It is given for you clearly. And on these mountains, what we are doing? We are using these mountains for perennial flow of rivers, provide facilities for tourism and also ecological aspects. So in this way we are utilizing the mountains. And the third point is about the plateau. See, this plateau consists of 27%. And this plateau also a very important part we are utilizing, because these plateaus are home for the rich reserves of minerals as well as fossil fuels as forests. So that's why we call this relief features a very important part of our life. Now you see, this question has been asked in the CBSE board, so take it seriously and try to learn this. It has been asked in the 1 mark question, it has asked in the 3 marks also. So read this as I have drawn the pie chart for you and written about what activities we do in this relief features. Now the next topic when we come is about how we are utilizing the land. This is about the land availability. Now we have to think about how the land has been utilized. See, land utilization. Land resources are used for the following purposes. Now first thing, as you know, the natural vegetation, we are using that as the forest. Second, about the land not available for cultivation. For example, barren and wasteland. Barren and wasteland means what? Barren and wasteland means that land which cannot be used. For example, desert is there. In a desert, can we grow any crop? Can we settle in the desert? No. Like that, rocks also. So these are all called as the barren lands. And then land put to non-agriculture uses. Example, building, roads, etc. So we cannot bring them under agriculture. Since they are used for other non-agricultural activities, we can't do anything. So that is the second about non-available for land which is not available for cultivation. Third, other uncultivated land, that is excluding fallow land, that is permanent pastures and grazing land. So you know, in the agriculture fields beside also the land which is not suitable, but the greenery is there, so we use that as the fodder for the animals. And land in the miscellaneous tree crops not included in the net sown area. So there are plants which are grown which we don't count them in the net sown area. So net sown area, how we have that calculation is done annually by the government, where what type of crop is sown in the agriculture year, and they keep the record. But there are some trees and crops which are not counted in the crops. And then third is about the cultivable wasteland left uncultivated for more than 5 agricultural
means the land which was earlier grown of crops, now it is being not used for 5 years. So this is uncultivated lands which are excluding about the fallow lands. Now the fourth one is about the fallow lands. And now these current fallows left without cultivation for 1 or less than 1 year is called as current fallow land. That means that year. Current means what? Present. Current means present. So that means current fallow land means in that year, agriculture year, which we don't grow the crops. Next, other than current fallow land, that is left uncultivated for past 1 to 5 years of agriculture year. So that is referred as the other current fallow lands. So which is taken long period, more than 1 year, like that we can say simply. So it can be a 5 years also. Next, after that, fifth one is about the net sown area. We are using the shortcut NSA, net sown area. Now this is the area sown more than once in an year, agriculture year, plus net sown area is known as the gross cropped area. So we are calculating that how much area of the land is brought under cultivation. That is referred as the net sown area. Now in India, we do the calculations. How much percent of the land is the net sown area? How much we are growing the crops? That is being explained. So this is the way how land is being utilized in India. So next, after that land utilization, land use pattern in India. Now you know, in India we are using the land for different purposes, and there are factors determined to use this land also. And that two factors, you know, the first factor is about the physical factor and then about the human factor. In this physical factor, we come under topography, climate, and also soil type. Whereas if you take the human factors, population density, technological capability, culture and traditions, etc. are coming under the human factors. So in this way we are using this land under natural and as well as physical, that is, and human factors base. And another point you should note, in India, if you take the total area, how much the total area is there? Nearly 3.28 million square kilometers is there. And in this 3.28 million kilometers of area, we are just surveyed around 93% of the geographical area. Why we didn't survey? Because the areas like Assam is excluded. In the northeastern states we couldn't count, and then about in the coming of the areas like Pakistan as well as China. These bordering states, we claim that our boundary, but we didn't have the survey. So this is the way how the surveys are done. Now we have to understand the pie graphs. Now here this how we are using the land relation. These all points which we written now. Based on comparison should be done. Now this comparison we are doing with the 1960, 61 with the 2014-15. How that we are going to compare the forest area, how much, this all we are going to discuss. Forest area, barren and wasteland area, permanent pasture area, grassland area, land and miscellaneous tree crops, and fallow lands, current fallow lands, this net sown area. So like that around more than 7 or 8 are there in this. So if you compare that previous of 1960, 61 and 2014 and 15, the pie graphs which are given in your textbook, some are old textbooks which are given outdated with 2002, 2003, but we have to follow compulsory the statistics. When it comes to statistics, you have to compulsory follow the latest curriculum only. In the latest curriculum, they gave these statistics. Some textbooks are there, but they are not given. So that's why I suggest for you to follow the latest one. And in this latest one, we can take the first about the permanent pastures and the grazing land. Now in this permanent pastures and the grazing land, what happens when we compare with 1960 and 2014? This has been decreased. So the number is decreasing. Why the number is getting decreased in percentage is because that the lands have been brought under cultivation. And what will be the effect on this? If you reduce this permanent pasture and grazing land, what will be the factor? See, if you reduce, that will affect on the food of the animals because they are depending on the pasture. So when this fodder is not available for of the animals, now how they can survive? So that is a big question mark. So parallelly we have to think of the permanent pasture and grazing land also should be there. And the second is about the barren and wastelands are there. This is has to be seen some are permanent, but there are some we can put under cultivation also that we can do. And then about the fallow lands also. Yeah, fallow lands. In this fallow lands also, if you take the statistics, we have to bring under cultivation. See why we have to do is that because we have to increase the net sown area. How much we increase the area, that much we can bring more area under cultivation. And when we speak about the net sown area, in this net sown area, around for example Punjab and Haryana, you take these two states. There are Punjab and Haryana 80% is being utilized by the Punjab and Haryana for net sown area. Whereas other states which are there, like northeastern states, if you go, in that we have very less net sown area. And the reason for that is that because the people who are residing in that the geographical location, most of that is mountainous region. And because of the uneven distribution of the rainfall, uneven rugged surface, we can say, as rugged surface of that land mass and not accessibility, it is not easy to grow the crops in that region. So that is the reason why some areas we see net sown area is more and some are less. Next come to the forest. So here also according to the forest laws 33%, you should note 33% is that minimum forest area should be there for our geographical land. And in that 33% that is set up in the year 1952. In the 1952 this was set up, but we see our agriculture area is increasing from 1962 to 2014 has increased around 18% to 22% like that it has increased, but this is not enough because we have to compulsory have around 33%. Then only we can say that ecological balance will be there. If ecological balance will be not there, what will happen? It will affect the environment. So that's why forests are important part of our life. And another important thing is in this about the wastelands which we are using, which continuously we are using this lands for leaving anything without use. So we have to bring under use. There are some new lands which are there come under non-agriculture activity. Non-agriculture activity, like for example building of roads, then afterwards construction of buildings, settlements. These all are the part of the settlements. So which is important. So we can conclude by saying that the comparison 1960-61 with 2014 and 15, we can say that the land use pattern, we have to make this forest area more to make ecological balance. So we have to make this fallow lands under more to make our net sown area more. So this will make our agriculture productivity more, and thus we can make the proper use of land use resources.